My name's Nick Robinson. I run a company called Nick Robinson ELT Author Representation, and I'm the joint coordinator of the new IATEFL Materials Writing Special Interest Group.
Cool, so could you tell me about that? So there's a new SIG then, is it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. This is a new SIG that's launching at this conference. Launching today, in fact. We only just received, in the last few weeks, the kind of approval from IATEFL for a new SIG. And the idea came about because a group of us who work in the ELT publishing side of things, including myself, Byron Russell, Karen White, Jill Florin, we kind of identified a need for a SIG that would address issues of materials development for teachers. And the main driving force behind that was that so many teachers these days are creating their own material. Some of that material is to be published with a major ELT publisher. An increasing amount is to be self-published or put out through a teacher's blog, given away or sold. And probably the biggest group are teachers that are just writing for their students. I think Byron has said this, that all teachers are writers essentially, which I think is true. We're all writing exercises, we're adapting articles, we're doing all this stuff, we're adapting our course books. So what we felt like there was a need for was some forum or some organisation that would help promote best practice in materials writing. When you have a book published by a major publisher, there's an amazingly complex editorial process you go through that really helps shape your material and make it as good as it can possibly be. For a teacher who is writing for their blog or writing for their class, they don't have that kind of oversight or that support. So what we'd hope to do is to kind of, through conferences, through discussions, through forums, would be to help teachers learn from each other and learn from experts as well. Just some of the tricks of the trade, really, how to make the content that they write as good as possible.
I guess you mentioned there, say, about blogs, and everyone's now got access to all this material, so they can all, as you said, all teachers are writers potentially.
Yeah.
So I guess you're trying to look now, is it improving the standards or giving them the tools to do it themselves?
Absolutely, yeah. I think I'm an editor by trade. I've worked on the editorial side of ELT publishing for almost 9 years, and I'm yet to find a piece of material written by anybody, even the greatest ELT writers out there, that can't be improved. The reality is that a good editor will always improve a piece of material, and there are thousands of teachers out there writing absolutely fantastic material for their blogs, for their classes, and what we'd hope is that we can maybe give them a bit of guidance that would make it even better, that would just take it to that next level. And it can be, it can be simple. Sometimes it's really simple bits of advice, like little things that often come up, like writing comprehension questions for a text and making sure that they're all in the answers are in the same order that they appear in the text. It's a really simple thing, but it gets overlooked by authors, and it makes the process of doing that activity from the learner very frustrating, because they're trying to listen out for answers or read for answers and they can't find them. So just even little tips like that, but also just a kind of idea of getting teachers thinking about really writing for their audience, what their audience is going to need, how you engage the people that are going to read your content, like how do you really drill down and find out what's going to make a student interested in the thing you're writing, what's going to make the class really, really work. And we all do that as teachers, we're all good at creating the good class dynamics, but how can we write materials that really reinforce that and really help it kind of come together?
Okay. And you're doing 2 talks, is that right?
Yes, absolutely. So I did a session this morning which was part of the IATEFL how-to strand that runs through the conference. And these are the super early morning sessions, so this was 8:15 this morning. And we've got 50 people actually, which is wonderful. And the idea of the talk is basically how to get into ELT publishing, how to become a professional materials writer. And this is linked in with the other thing that I do, which is running this author representation agency. I came up with this idea a year ago, which was our first anniversary, and the idea was to try and find a way to help new writers to break into publishing, to help get them onto publishers' radars, which is very difficult. Anyone watching this who's tried to get published by a big publisher or tried to get paid writing work will know that the process can seem quite opaque. It can very often seem like there's no obvious way into
this. Getting that foot in the door, I guess.
The foot in the door, exactly. But at the same time, the irony of it is that a lot of the publishers are looking for new writing talent, yet somehow no one's connecting those 2 groups. So what I thought I'd try and do was find a way of finding people who I thought had potential, who I thought had real talent, and mentor them through the process, help them develop as authors, help them understand the publishing process, how it works, and then I go out and advocate for them to the publishers. I go and meet with the publishers and find out what their needs are, and hopefully try and put authors their way. So we've had 19 writers on board, And in this first year, the majority of them have found paid writing work. Some of them have found several commissions, which is great. And the publishers are very happy because they've got some new talent coming through, which is great.
So how would people find out about this then? How can they get in touch with you?
Absolutely, yeah. So they go. My website is nickrobinsoneelt.com. That's nickrobinsoneelt.com, and that kind of outlines how the agency works. In the first instance, I'm always just looking for people who are. I'm predominantly looking for new writers, so people who've never done this before, but who really want to get into it, more so than experienced writers. All I ask for in the first instance is people to send me a CV. And a very simple covering email that just tells me why they want to write and why they think they'll be good at it. Simple as that. And then we take it from there. If I think they have potential, we do a Skype interview, and then I get them doing some writing tasks so I can gauge their ability. So yeah, anyone out there who's interested in professional materials writing, do get in touch via the website.